Two young men came to the caliph Umar ibn al-Khattāb, may God be pleased with him, accompanied by a Bedouin man. They stood before the courthouse awaiting a judgment. "What is this?" asked the caliph. "O Prince of the believers," they said, "he killed our father." "Have you indeed killed their father?" the caliph asked the Bedouin. When the Bedouin affirmed the accusation, he was asked by what means he committed the crime. "He came upon my land riding his horse," said the Bedouin. "I warned him to leave, but he wouldn't. I threw a rock that hit him on his face, and he died." "He came upon my land riding his camel. I warned him to leave, but he wouldn't. I threw a rock that hit him on his face, and he died." The caliph immediately said, "The retribution for your crime is death." The extraordinary thing about this immediate decision is that in modern courtrooms, there tend to be an exception for men who have connections or are rich and can offer bribes, or have lofty statuses in society. But the caliph was never interested in any of these things. His only concern was justice in the eye of God. And had the murderer been his own son, he would have taken the same course of action without bias. The Bedouin heard the decision and pleaded, "O Prince of the believers, I ask you by the one who maintains the heaven and the earth to leave me for just a night so that I might go to my wife and children in the desert and inform them of my fate. I will entrust them to God and return to you." The caliph asked the courtroom, "Will anyone guarantee his return?" The courtroom was quiet. No one knew this man, his trustworthiness, the whereabouts of his family, or even his name. Everyone did know, however, that if he did not return to the courtroom on the prescribed day, then whoever volunteered to vouch for him would owe their life to the justice system and be killed on his behalf. The risk was too great, and although his testimony was moving, not one man stirred. Amid the two broken young men whose father was slain, the pleading Bedouin whose family awaited the outcome of their caretaker, and the silent people, the caliph bowed his head, overwhelmed with the burden of delivering justice to even party before him. He lifted his head and spoke to the two young men. "Will you not forgive this man?" "No," they replied. "The man who has killed our father should be killed, O Prince of the believers." There was a man in the court named Abu Dhar al-Ghifari, who was known for his generosity. He was a young man during the time of the Prophet, peace be upon him, and now was old and beloved to the caliph. "I will guarantee the Bedouin's return," said Abu Dhar. Stunned, the caliph looked at his old friend. "Do you know him?" "I don't," replied Abu Dhar, "but I've witnessed characteristics of faithfulness in him. He does not lie, so God willing he will return." "Do you think I won't kill you in his place if he flees his punishment?" asked the caliph. Abu Dhar al-Ghifari said, "God is sufficient in disposing of affairs." And with that, the caliph ruled that the Bedouin return to the courtroom in 3 days' time to receive his death sentence. He was to tell his family of the situation and try to prepare them for his departure. The days were short and passed quickly, and soon the two young men, the caliph, the witness, and Abu Dhar gathered in the courtroom once again to rectify the issue. But where was the Bedouin? Everyone silently looked around. No one saw him. And Abu Dhar looked at the setting sun, inching lower and lower into the western horizon. Every minute that passed was a threat to his life. But no one but God knew the effect of his vulnerability in his heart. The caliph anxiously asked about the whereabouts of the Bedouin. Had anyone seen him? He would have preferred to sacrifice himself before his dear friend Abu Dhar, but he was well aware that his law is a provision from the divine, and when followed perfectly, is a gift for mankind. The pressure overwhelmed the caliph, until gasping, the Bedouin came running into the courtroom. "God is greater," exclaimed the caliph. As the crowd repeated after him, "God is greater," "Man, have you stayed in your home? We would have not known your whereabouts. What brought you here?" asked the caliph. "O Prince of the Believers," replied the Bedouin, "my debt is not to you, but to the one who is aware of the secrets and knows the hidden. And here I am, O Prince of the Believers. My children, left in the desert like chicks in a nest, with no water or food. But I had to come. Had I abandoned my vow, I feared that society would claim that the word of a man is no longer honorable. I had to fulfill my promise, or honesty would have gone from our people." The caliph, stunned, turned to Abu Dhar, who was pleased and relieved upon the Bedouin's return, and asked, "Why is it that you have risked your life for this man? Had I not volunteered, allowing him to meet his family once more, I feared that goodness and decency would have gone from our people." The caliph stood up and looked over at the two young men. "What do you make of this?" he asked them. "O Prince of the Believers," they responded, weeping, "we forgive him, for fear that if we do not, forgiveness and mercy might in the due time be gone from our people." "God is greater," whispered the caliph, as tears dripped off his beard. "May God forgive you, young men, because you've forgiven. May God protect you, Abu Dhar, because you've protected another, even when it cost you your own distress. And Bedouin, may God reward you for your honesty." Have these qualities gone from our people? Are honesty, selflessness, and forgiveness only praise values of the past? Let's never let them go, striving to adopt them in our daily lives. And never think that only in murder trials do these things come to light. For if we don't have courage to muster these qualities in the seemingly insignificant circumstances, how will we ever develop a strong habit enough to withhold the pressure of life and death? It's been a cold day today, which is why I'm wearing this sweatshirt. But I hope you enjoyed this story, and it has warmed you. Assalamu alaikum.